Some wild cats.
Do you hear me? We back with it, man.
You're listening to Some Wild Cats.
You guys represent what is best in America.
Hey, Craig, let me ask you, do you use the same type of Beijing, or do you just, you mix that up, like you do just for men?
These dudes, boy.
Y'all, I'm getting ready to put y'all up on something, man.
From the DMV to Wild Cats. Now, let's start the show.
Okay, here we go, man. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
What is up, my peoples? We are back. Yes, Some Wildcats podcast coming to you live from Some Wildcat Studios. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. My name is Craig Black. What is the deal? And always in the building, I got my family with me. Gonna bring my man to the room, my dude Keith, aka Cat Daddy Keith, aka Keith the Freak, aka Coach Keith, aka he had a little bit of that Teddy Riley going on with him today, but he's here. He made it.
What's up, Black?
What's up with you, Keith?
Long layoff, Slim.
Yeah, long layoff, man. Almost 2 months since we did a show, man. People's been asking about us.
I'm gonna blame you for this delay.
Oh, it's my fault. It's my fault.
That's where I'm at tonight.
It's my okay. It's all good. It's all good. Also in the building, I got my man, Ant, aka the old man, aka he coming to you live from, I think he in North Carolina. What's up, Ant?
Hey, what's up? Black is personified. My nigga, if you don't get no bigger, then you just be my bigger.
My man, Ant. And last but not least, I gotta be my man G to the building, my man Glenn, aka he spells his name with 3 or 4 or 5 N's, aka baseball parent coach extraordinaire. What's up, Glenn?
What's up, fam? How's everybody doing? It's good to be back.
Good to be back. I tell you, it's good to be back. It's been a while. It's been a minute. All right, so this podcast is about us and our friendship over the last 35, 40, 45, 50 plus years, and it's about the topics we want to cover because we don't give a goddamn about what you think. It's all about what we think. All right. So we're missing some people. I don't know where y'all boys at. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Bags, the talent. I know where Derek is, but but we're here. We're gonna hold it down, and we're gonna bring some guests in. Yes, we are. I got a couple of special guests that's gonna be on the podcast, and first I'm gonna bring. She is a wildcat, yes. Class of 89 with well, no, not Keith. Class of 89 with 3 of us. I'm gonna bring it to the room. Y'all give it up one time for my girl, Rena Doyle. What's up, Rena?
Hey, Wildcats, what's going on?
What's up, Rena?
What's up, Rena?
How's it going on West Coast?
It goes.
She comes to us live from sunny California right now. Are you in California? You be traveling.
Laguna Beach.
Laguna. Hey, I ain't mad at that. All right, so I got it.
Lewisdale.
Laguna Lewisdale.
Lewisdale's finest. So I got a bio, y'all. I want y'all to see. I got her bio, okay? All right. And I'm gonna read through this because there's one part I didn't know what Miss Doyle or my girl Rena was doing. I gotta give her props. Okay, she is a dynamic Jedi consultant with 30 years of experience in 48 of 50 states and in 5 other countries. She is the co-founder of Tribacy Consulting, a premier consulting firm for companies and organizations across the globe who are committed to infusing concepts of justice, equality, diversity, and inclusion into their structure and culture. She is a human rights attorney from Harvard Law School. She holds degrees in sociology, international economics from Harvard and the University of Maryland, respectively, with DEI certification from Cornell. Y'all give it up one time. Travis's finest, Miss Rena Doyle.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I mean, that's nice, Rena. I mean,
hey, Rena, you know what I got out of that? You ain't take no classes with Craig, did you?
I would never throw my Wildcats under the bus.
Yeah, there you go.
Shit, Craig stayed in the basement.
There you go.
Them don't count.
Craig stayed in the basement.
I appreciate that.
I had a class with Anthony.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of classes.
Yeah, we had a couple classes together. I remember an important one though. Remember, you probably don't have, but it was a good one. Yeah, it was a good one.
Okay, we need to talk offline on that one.
He
I don't remember that class.
Kind of old. He probably got that memory. You know, that's good. All right, I'm gonna bring our next guest to the room. Her name is Miss Wendy Crump, aka Wendy Brown. What's up, Wendy?
Hola, what's up?
Hey.
All right. Wendy is the president / CEO of Own Your Own, an advocate for cultural identity, global trendsetter, and media specialist. Ms. Crump has traveled all over
the world.
Over to 30 foreign countries and speaks multiple languages. I never knew that. You never spoke any different languages than me. Anyway, she's a radio / television producer and on-air personality. She worked for Radio 1. She works for iHeart Media. She worked everywhere when it comes to radio. Y'all give it up for one of my former morning show co-hosts in St. Louis, Missouri. It was Craig Black and a hot morning show featuring Wendy Brown. Y'all give it up for my girl Wendy Crump one time.
Snap.
Welcome, Wendy.
Oh, she's also a real estate extraordinaire. What is it, the NTF? Help me out with that.
NTF house agent. It's just because the world is changing, Bitcoin, NFT, all that good stuff. So now they're doing real estate through NFTs. So that's all.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that Bitcoin and NTF, so we need to get there with that.
We're gonna talk to her.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to y'all. All right. So ladies, I invited you on the show because a lot of times, in the past we would give advice to women from an all-male perspective on relationships, because women, they need to know what they're doing wrong from an all-male perspective, because y'all sometimes y'all get it real wrong. So we would give out that good advice from all my dudes on my podcast, and we would help out the young ladies in their relationships. And I came across a clip on IG, and it was a female. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just play the clip for everybody. Y'all just watch this clip, and then we're gonna dive into it.
What I notice about some women is that some women expect for a man to love her unconditionally, but she wants to love this man under conditions. What this man can do for her, how much he can provide, how much money he make, where he work, what type of job he doing. But this man is supposed to accept you with open arms. Baby, you have yet to heal from childhood trauma. Your mama and your daddy failed you. You still have abandonment issues, baby. You insecure with yourself because you sitting here comparing yourself to this girl on social media. You don't even like the way that you look. But this man is supposed to accept you and love you unconditionally. Have you checked on that man's mental health? Have you called him and asked him, is he okay? Did you tell him that he was a king? Did you make him feel like that? And a lot of women say it's not my job to shape and mold. And man, that may not be your job, but it ain't your job to damn sure as hell stress that man out. But he got to love you unconditionally and take you and your badass kids.
I'm not going to sit here and say this show is about bashing women. That's not what it's about. This particular show is not about bashing women. It's about telling the truth sometimes. And I think she spoke the truth a lot when it comes to relationships with these, I don't know, I want to say millennials, but I think it does span to a lot of people in my age group, ladies in my age group, because they don't want to have to deal with a man that, who's not bringing something that's equal to the table. It has to be, they're not willing at this stage in life, they're not willing to try to grow a man or grow with a man or help a man move forward. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw the first comments. I'm gonna let Mrs. Doyle speak on this first and give your responses to the actual video and what you thought about what the young lady said about women just straight up, I guess, dragging a man down because you're scared to build.
Well, my first thought is that narcissism goes beyond gender, right? And the first thing that I thought about is whomever she's talking about, it really doesn't matter what their gender is. This is a narcissistic person, right? Or a taker, right? Sometimes you see people talk about energy vampires. This person is a taker. And we all know people, regardless of gender or background or ethnicity or whatever, who are takers. And so for me, the conversation isn't so much about men versus women. It's about what she's talking about is narcissism. That, you know, this person must be the centerpiece of the entire relationship. Um, and I don't believe in unconditional love. I believe there are conditions. If you are a healthy, psychologically healthy person, you have boundaries. And if you want to call those boundaries conditions, then fine. But I believe that it's healthy to have conditions and boundaries in any relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship, a relationship with a family member, a relationship with your own children or your parents. It's good to have delineated boundaries. So to me, what she's talking about is narcissism. This isn't a male female thing, because I think all of us can agree we know people who look many different ways, who want to be the centerpiece of the relationship, but is really not interested in a partnership.
So you're basically saying that her comments have no gender. It's just a straight narcissistic trait, not a male or female gender type of thing that's going on with her comments.
Absolutely. Now, I think there are people socialized to be this way, and there are some people who are just naturally narcissistic. But to put it on females or males that act like one way or another, you know, that's just like that book that was written in the 1990s called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And if you look at the book is nonsense, because we all do the same things. We just see it differently depending on what groups we belong to. But what she's talking about is a narcissist.
But in her clip, she was actually speaking like she was talking to a girlfriend. You feel it was coming off, you know, like it was actually her actually getting at her girlfriend for saying what she said about her man, about the man she was dealing with or not dealing with now. But
right. Look, it doesn't matter if it's your girlfriend, your male friend, your whoever. You know, she was checking her on her narcissism. But to say that I think males do that more than females or females do that more than males, I think would be wrong to say, because the topic is that person is a toxic person, period.
All right. Very toxic. Okay. I'm gonna let Wendy Crump jump in this thing. All right, Wendy. So what's your perspective on her?
Well, I agree 100% with Reba was saying. I know that she said something that kind of, because one thing I heard her say was, you know, you got all these conditions, but he got to accept you with all your kids. Like, well, does everybody got what's going on? It sounds like people are making bad decisions in the first place. Because, I mean, you do got to bring something to the table. There are some people that say, hey, I don't mind if my man doesn't make any money because I make the money. I'm fine with that. There's partnership, there's agreement, there's understanding. It's not like the man has to make a certain amount of money. And there are others who are like, my man needs to make 1,000% more money than I do. I don't want to work. I don't want to whatever. These are just personal things that you choose to project and you choose to deal with. The toxicity comes into play when you go enter into a relationship, and instead of, I guess, finding the compromise or finding the whatever, you end up battling, trying to change a person to make them be a certain way, and they're not. Or, you know, you just deal with it, shut up, and have your side pieces. I mean, that's a real life thing, and they do exist. And they're out here living healthy. But yeah, you know, because I'm glad you said that she was talking to her girlfriend, because I was like, I was a little taken back by it, because I'm like, yeah, no, it's not necessarily always the case. But yeah, like I said, 100% agree with Reba. And then adding to that, just whoever these people are need to figure out they need to find self first. They need to be single like me for a couple of years.
But like I said, I didn't want this to try to turn this into a women bashing thing. And you know,
yes,
Raina kind of pointed this out to, you know, that it may be more of a it's a narcissistic thing, not a gender thing. And I, you know, that's cool. And yes, I did want to be okay, I did. That's my, you know, that's where Craig comes from. Okay. I did want to make it seem, you know, not make it seem that way, but I wanted them people to actually see that it's a lot of dudes that get kicked out of relationships that get dumped just because of the fact that what they're not where they're at, because they're not at a certain point in their lives when they get into a relationship with certain type of women. When I say certain type of women, I mean.
But I think that's a different topic than what she was just talking about. That's a different, what you just said and what she was talking about could be very different depending on the relationship, right? So having conditions and boundaries in a relationship is healthy, but the whole relationship being all about one person rather than the partnership is a problem. But what you just said was that a lot of men get kicked out of the relationship because they're not bringing enough to the table. That's something very different, though, Chris.
But that's kind of which it kind of seemed that way when she says conditions. Well, okay, I'm gonna let Keith jump in here because he's nodding his head. No. So you correct me, Keith.
No, I mean, I think Rena hit the nail on the head when she said it wasn't a gender-based thing. And then on top of that, I thought it was a generalization of everything. It wasn't. I didn't think she kind of lumped everybody into this group, and that's not the case all the time. So that's the decision that she made, or a decision that whoever she was speaking about, and whoever she was specifically speaking about at the time, that was a decision that they made. But it was more of a generalized statement to me, as opposed to saying that that's what everybody's case is when you know every man that's in a relationship has to bring such and such to the table, or every woman is not, you know, stepping up when they need to step up. That it was like a generalized statement to me, and I didn't know how we was going to make this a full show about a generalized topic that was a clip of probably 30 seconds of a whole conversation that could have been had going past that. But I just thought it was a generalization, and I didn't think that that's not the case for everybody.
She did start off with saying the word some. I just want to give credit that she said some of these women out here. She didn't say all. She did say some.
I'm gonna let Glenn jump in here real quick. Go right ahead, Glenn.
I think she really was trying to do gender norms, and she took specific situations that made it seem like, you know, she's attacking. But she's saying there's certain gender norms that you could not, that a male has to have, or stages where he has to have, the levels he has to have, that the women themselves don't feel like they have to meet any type of those gender norms. And that's what I think she's coming from. Again, like you say, he probably responding to an individual person and an individual situation. But again, but there are gender norms. There are situations like that. But and your point about maybe the guy missing out, in my book, in my philosophy, in my 50 years, yo, if it didn't work out, it wasn't meant to work out. So they dodged the bullet, to be honest.
Okay, I get that. All right, I'm gonna go to Ant right now. What's up, Ant? You got a comment?
Yeah, I just think she painted a very broad. She painted a picture with a very broad brush. It's just, you know, it touched on a lot of different topics that I think you almost got to kind of peel back the onion. You can talk about it from a social economic position. You could talk about it from a mental health issue. You could talk about it from a relationship issue. So I think, you know, to Keith's point, this was a without the full context of the conversation that we're trying to dissect 30 seconds, a 30-second clip from. It sounded like it was a larger, more in-depth conversation, sounding as though it was geared to a specific person or individual and stuff. So it's, I get where you're trying to go with the shock value, Craig, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to dissect.
It is. Hold on. Let me jump in here real quick. In my point of view, it was more than just not. It was directed toward a whole section of women who actually are like this and who actually are this way to men, who treat men like this because they have to have this, and this in order to deal with me. But while she's sitting there with 5 kids, making
badass kids, she said, badass kids,
making the minimum, making a minimum amount of money. But you want this man to be on this type of level, but you right here.
But Slim, Slim,
and that's what I got from it, and that's why I actually sent that clip to Rena, and I sent it to Wendy Brown. And
but men don't love the same way women love. So that whole, she only got a minimum wage jobs, dudes don't care. They do not care. Now let her complain about how she don't want to never have no sex and watch a man freak out. Watch him not know what to do. Now, let a chick work at McDonald's or Wendy. He don't care. It don't matter who, what, when, where, how much money she makes. It's not like that. Women, it's a different mindset, because not only, I mean, kids are shared between two people, but y'all have time to think about things and figure things out. In the meantime, the second you find out you're pregnant, it's like, oh, and then your body transforms and you're going through all this stuff. You're going through ups and downs and emotions, and y'all stub a toe and have a bruised toe and be crying for a year. But you got to give birth, and so you got to make sure you have somebody that's able to provide. Because one thing I will say, it's getting a little crazy now. I'm like, women, we can have babies, we can go back to work in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and pay the bills and be mom and dad and all that stuff. Like, it's a lot going on. So men love differently the way that women love differently. And so, yeah, if a dude's complaining about how his chick only makes a certain amount of money, then, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're just not very sexual or something. I don't know. Maybe it's
a dude's not. He's not gonna complain about how much money she make, but she's lazy. She's always on her ass and ain't cooking and ain't no. And you ain't meeting me half. You ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Of course, that's what men will have a problem with.
Yeah,
But how much you make ain't gonna be the problem.
Right.
And again, it's a generalization again, because we still talking about, this bruh Section 8 with 5 kids, where you could be talking about a dude that don't have a job and want to take the lady's car and drive her car around all day. That's not the case with everybody. So, it's still a generalization to me.
But I also think in a relationship, we all have different needs, right? And so, I don't know how many men I have dealt with where I come across as boring, right? As a matter of fact, I had one guy call me that, and I said, many men have called me B words. Boring has never been one that has ever been used. So let's analyze why you think I'm boring, right?
He didn't know who you were. He didn't know you very well. He didn't know
right. I mean, y'all know me for 40-some years. Boring is not the B word you would use for me. But let's analyze why. Because he was socialized to be a Captain Save-A-Ho. Right? And I wasn't a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a bunch of kids for him to help me with. I didn't need anything, and for him, I didn't need a green card. I mean, I am in California. I didn't need a green card. I didn't need any of these things. And literally that meant I was boring. Right? And I was, and he, there was nothing that made him feel, like he was helping, like he was doing, because he was raised that's his job, is to help and women. So what he tended to be with and date were women who had these toxic attributes. And so when he got someone that didn't have any of that, it was an adjustment for him.
He needed some chaos. You wasn't bringing the
I wasn't bringing any chaos or drama,
the disruption, the drama, and all that. He wasn't used to.
Right, and you've met him, Craig. I mean, I have great friends, I have great family. It was all too overwhelming for him.
Wait a minute.
Say his name. Say his name.
Talk to us.
We're gonna leave it alone. We don't need to talk about that.
Is he a Wildcat?
No,
he's not a Wildcat. No, he's not. And we're gonna leave that. We're not gonna talk about that at all.
Might be one of them Eagles. I'm gonna leave it alone. It might be one of them Eagles.
But if I met him, I know he talked about Rena, and I thought everything was great there.
Hey! You got the backstory now. Let's leave it alone. Let's
leave it alone. Let me stop.
Right.
You said we know about it.
My point is all of that.
Oh, I know who it is.
Oh my God!
You don't expect me as a Captain Save-A-Ho. But okay.
It's some Wildcats podcast coming to you live from some Wildcat Studios. We on Facebook, we on YouTube and Twitter. And I got special guests in the building. We have special guests in the building. Wendy Brown and Rena Doyle. I got your name is Jax up there. You're gonna get mad at me, Rena. All right, so that was the topic I wanted to throw at y'all. And I'm gonna throw this at you right now. Something different, a totally different topic. But I don't know if y'all heard about this. DJ Envy. He's the host of the Breakfast Club on Power 105 in New York, you know, with Charlamagne the God and everything. So DJ Envy's wife wrote a book. Her name is Gia Casey. And in her book, she states that she faked an orgasm with Envy for 10 years.
Damn.
For 10 years. And she goes on to say because she didn't know her body, and her excuse about that is because DJ Envy was her first and her last.
Oh, that's fair.
Dating in high school.
That's fair. I give her credit for faking that long. Shoot, that's give her the Golden Globe.
I'm about to say you faking something for 10 years. That's some trust issues after a while.
But you know what though? I wouldn't call it trust. To be all honest, like for that to be her first love, she was and not knowing her body, she was trying to figure it out, and maybe faking it was helping her mentally to get to that place. It sucks for DJ Envy because Envy like, dang chick, you gonna act like, you know what I'm saying, we ain't have no, because apparently
my angle on this.
Are they still married? Are they still married?
Yeah, they're still married. But how in the hell are you gonna let your wife put that in the book when she tells you that?
Because Jada Pinkett's leading the she's leading the she's the All Wives Club.
I'm like, nah, we gonna edit that section out. We not putting that section in there.
But I kind of question, was it real? But it's like on all the, he said it on the show, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? I mean, you want to sell a book that bad? You want to make these sales?
Well, you got Jada Pinkett doing the Red Talk. You got Beyonce that put it in a song when she's going through her situationships. You got a woman out that'll write a book. You got some people that will tell the homegirls or tell the friends or tell a circle of friends. I mean, somebody gonna talk about it somehow, some way. Hopefully they got it. Hopefully they went to a sex counselor though, and he learned her body a little bit better, so she don't have to fake it. Or they could have opened that door to an open marriage. She could, been with somebody else.
I mean, for 10 years though, come on now.
I'm just curious as to why.
She said she
for
didn't
10 years he was unable to make her skeet.
Yeah, because the thing that he thought was his signature move wasn't the signature move. It wasn't doing.
It wasn't even a signature. It wasn't an initial.
No, but if she faked it for 10 years and he thought that signature move was the end all be all, then he's not gonna stop doing that. So
if you tell me,
I don't.
If you tell me my chicken masala is the best meal you ever ate, I'm gonna keep cooking you chicken masala, even though realistically you don't like or you hate my chicken masala. So until you decide that to tell me I hate this shit, then I'm gonna have to switch it up. But if you don't tell me that you don't like this, I'm gonna keep doing what I do.
Every week. You're getting it every week. Every Thursday. He cut that muscle. Let's go get some chicken.
Let's have some chicken masala.
Girl, you smell that?
I think this is where women have a lot of power that she didn't use, because in using your example about chicken masala, there are many ways that women can say, baby, I love your chicken masala, but tonight I want to try some curry chicken. I want to spice it up. Right? There are ways that women know how to say and do that. And so that's why I'm saying I'm sure there are women who relate. I don't. Because there is a way to say the chicken masala is good, it's good, but I feel like curry chicken tonight.
Yeah, she's supposed to step up. She's supposed to say that.
And not only that, 10 years.
Yeah, after the first 2 weeks, she's supposed to step up.
if that was her first and stuff, if that's the only exposure she's having, I can see why she just like, this is what chicken's like, huh?
Like you say, if she didn't know herself as well, so she didn't know that there was more. She probably thought that that was it, you know.
So
And
Wait a minute.
Not when
You
you
can
have
barbecue it.
girlfriends. There
You
is
can
no
barbecue
way.
it. You
No
can put some
way.
curry on it.
did she
I
really back
know.
though? She
Damn.
said she finally had an orgasm. Have they only been married 10 years? So she still ain't never had an orgasm?
I don't know how long they've been married.
Craig didn't read the rest of the book. He
Oh,
only
he just read
he
that
only
one.
read the
Okay,
footnote.
I read that one little
put
blurb.
it up
That
and
one
say, but
blurb.
now
I
he
didn't
makes
read the whole
like
book.
$1
You right
million
about
bucks.
that.
Yeah,
you
this
read the
not your first.
preface.
It's not your first time being on the show. You know, Craig only take the clips.
Hey,
He don't
Just
do the
clickbait.
background check. He just do the clip.
Yo,
He ain't read
just
the
some
book.
clickbait.
He ain't read the
that's a
book.
clip. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. That's all
It's
you
a
needed.
clickbait.
Listen, he was like, Superhead got a book. Like, dang, for real? Yeah.
That's crazy. But
First
ladies,
sentence.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all I appreciate y'all coming through and jumping on the show with us. I will graciously have you both back. Rena Doyle, you're great. You're great. I really appreciate it. I really do. So
I do got a question for Rena though. Where did the
Okay.
Jack come
All right.
from? I'm like, because for the longest time, I was like, who the hell is this Jack Rena? Jack Rena, Rena Jack? I said,
Jack,
look, I saw
yeah.
I was like, that's Rena Doyle. What is like what the hell
I
happened?
never knew it was
When did
Doyle.
you
I thought it
become
was
Jack?
Yeah,
Jack.
no, it's
No, Jackson.
yeah, it's always been Rena Doyle. It's gonna always be Rena Doyle. I don't care what happens in my life. I'm gonna go. I came Rena Doyle. I'm gonna go out Rena Doyle. So Jax is a name that actually my grandfather had given to me, and a lot of people didn't know it because most people in my family call me by Rena, and of course you all know me by Rena since that's you all met me through school. But that's a name my grandfather actually gave me, so that's where it came from.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, so I can call you next time when I want a female voice, right, Rena?
Yeah, I'm not gonna always give you the female answer that you want.
That's good. Hey, that's good. Hey, we need.
And look, but you know
I'm
what, Rena, you know what's really interesting? Our off-camera conversations are so much more in depth and so much more informative than what I know Craig don't want me sharing that and stuff, but like that's when we kind of get into the nitty-gritty and stuff, man. So
they scared to say the real shit sometimes, Rena. Okay, that's all I got.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say this. I'm glad he picked you to go first today because you changed the whole narrative of what his objective was for calling y'all on here tonight. You changed everything.
Well, I
when you
did
put it in
warn
perspective.
him.
No.
I said,
It's not a negative thing. This is a positive
yeah,
for
I
all of
warned
us
him, though.
outside of Craig. This was a positive for us because you changed the narrative on what he was which street he was trying to go down, and you made that left turn and you put us back on the main highway. Because Craig would have had us in the alley somewhere, stuck off in the gutter. That's where he was trying to go with it.
Sometimes you gotta go down that alley. Sometimes. Hey,
you got that hood rat.
Let me just say this though. I believe that doing this split and this women versus men, this versus thing does not help any of us in any relationship in any at any time. So this thing where men do this and women do, I've seen men and women do the same thing, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Having certain attributes for women, especially we're living in a non-binary world these days, a very non-binary world, and I just think it doesn't serve us any justice to be at each other's throats. I know women who do dumb stuff. I know men who do dumb stuff. I know women who do toxic stuff. I know men who do toxic stuff. I also know men who are much more nurturers than women. I know some women are just as non-emotional and not able to connect emotionally like men want them to. So it doesn't help us to do males versus females in this world anymore.
And Craig, I got a question for Rena. She brought up the binary world we in right now, and this is a topic that's gone around many different circles.
We going to talk. Okay, well, go ahead.
You don't want.
That was the subject, but go right ahead, Gillen.
I think it's good to get into perspective too.
I don't see an agenda on my. Okay, so Rena,
we're taking the audible right now. Go ahead. So Wildcats podcast.
Exactly. So in this day and age, right now, where they're transgender or those who associate, like you said, binary world, where they're like athletic, like basketball, volleyball, wrestling, how do you feel about the transgender playing these sports as a female against females. I mean, as a man, I feel like go you comment on first. I want to put my opinion in it.
Yeah, it's a deep conversation for me because I am an advocate in the LGBTQ plus world, and I played sports and at Northwestern and other the place I played sports, and I love sports. And I will tell you, one of the things that I find very disturbing is that males get privilege even when they become women.
Oh,
that's
shit.
what I find terrible, right?
I never thought about it like that. I never thought about it like that.
A man becomes a woman, she becomes still the center of attention. That's what I find a problem, because you have females, you have F to M and you have M to F. You have F to M, females to males, that are getting none of this, right? You have females who are turned out to get none of this attention about their issues and what's happening to them as well. Okay. I don't believe in the violence against M to F, transgender M to F. I don't believe in pulling away from rights, but I do believe this. Since the beginning of the Olympics that women were allowed to compete in the Olympics, they've had to prove they were women. Since the beginning, right? It first started with unrobing and a doctor looking you up and down and certifying you're a female. And of course, that doctor was a
male.
So a man gets to tell you you're a female, right? Then it went to actually getting in stirrups. Every female athlete around the world had to prove and had to have a man stick his hand up her uterus to prove her vagina, to prove she is a female. Then she has to go through all this tests. My point is that females have had to do some pretty, especially depending on what part of the world you're from and your religion, some pretty embarrassing things, and may not even able to get married ever again, depending on your culture, in order to be an athlete. Yet now we have men who are now transgender, they're female, they're accepted as female, but don't have to go through tests. So what are we saying to all these females from decades and decades that had to do pretty embarrassing things to prove they were a female? I think that the disrespect to the female athlete that has always had to prove she was a female, and now they don't have to prove they're a female, is a conversation that is what has always happened to females.
Well, I'm gonna keep it at a high level.
That's so good.
And on the screen right now, you have the wrestling right there. That's actually I cut the meme part out because the meme was kind of.
There's nothing on the screen, Black.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
I see it.
I see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Keith was Teddy Riley today, but anyway, I took the comments away because it was really degrading. But you see that this is a transgender, and this is a man that's transitioned to a female, and she's allowed to wrestle against women, and she's been dominating the sport. It's kind of like with the same thing with Glenn brought up. He said about the swimmer. If y'all remember the swimmer, she was as a male, he was ranked like something 200 in the NCAA, and then
412.
Well, even worse. And then he transitions to a woman, and he's the number one.
He lost four. Four people beat them in the NCAA this year. I
think you all have to be careful as males how you talk about this subject.
Yes.
You also have to remember that females in your life are hearing what you're saying.
Right.
And you have to be careful not to make the assumption that all men can beat women in particular sports. So you have to be careful how you talk about this subject, because it seems like the assumption is that if a man goes into a female sports, he could just knock everybody out. That's the conversation that is also offensive to females as well.
Ren, I'm gonna say this. I've been coaching for 20 years, right?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna jump in for a second. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Wendy. Give me your point of view with perspective. 1 second.
Yes.
Oh, you want me to jump into this conversation?
He going for shock value. He going for shock credit for you.
I mean,
I'm
my
going
my
for shock
answer
value.
is a little bit more. It could be a whole other topic of conversation. I believe anyone should be free to be whoever they are, however they are. I do feel like putting a name on it though just outwardly says, states who you are. But I understand the process because
Yes, it is.
it's been hidden in the closet for so long. People act like
Mhm.
people can't get together in a certain way, and the people that were against it are the very same ones that are doing it and making the laws against it.
Mhm.
Now I do just to break it down even further. It's a little too much for me with the whole cis and is and kiss and maybe in T and LGBTQ RFG TMLP. I don't really know all the necessary breakdowns. It is I think it's a fine subject for me because dealing with Black Lives Matter type of situationship and dealing with, I think we all should be able to participate. Now to go even deeper though, I will say once you start changing, like there is a supreme law, and once you start changing things, I think on a government level they do have a little bit more control. Like once you start doing scientific stuff, like if you want to be changes or whatever, then you do become more of a like the whole vaccine debate. Do I take the vaccine? Do I not take the vaccine? Do I have to take the vaccine? Are you controlled by science now? Is it considered man-made now that if you've been changed or altered or however you want to do it? I mean, I'm not really a big deal on that. Now to go into what you guys were just talking about as far as athletes are concerned, I think that yes, because even as a little girl, I thought that I could play just as much as the boys did. And I would go out there and I would kind of get stamped on, trampled on, even playing basketball, even trying to jump. Like the jump, it just was different. Now, maybe I wasn't trained enough or whatever the case may be. Or maybe my legs just, I got some thick legs. So I don't know. Maybe I would have been a better runner than a jumper. But I think right now, a man just jumping into a woman's sport, yeah, because the swimmer, man, them two chicks look pissed. They look disappointed. They look defeated. Like, dang. And the man number one, like, yeah. So I don't know. It's
Hey,
going
to go like I agree 1,000% with Renee, especially when she pointed about the respect for the female athlete all these years and the respect they got to get legit, and then turn around and say what you want. If the man who trains just as much as the female, the man's going to be. Why can't you take extra testosterone? Why? Because the fact that is an added for muscle and everything. So if a female is able to take extra testosterone and other things like that, maybe it could balance it. But there is a conference for females and conference for men for a reason, so that it can be compatible. I mean, it's competition on high level, but there is a situation you do realize that a male, average male, and then you will have an outstanding female compete with that male, an average male, but you're not gonna have a high elite male and a high elite female. It's gonna be different. I mean, it's just anatomy.
Well, I I don't know. Speaking about it, and I don't look at it as a point from what Rena was saying about the watching what we're saying, because some women are competing wise, may be able to beat a man in a certain sport. And I don't know, when I'm talking about football, basketball, wrestling, if it's a distinct advantage, I believe, that a man has over a woman in these sports, being just by the muscle structure, being by the weight. If you're on a football field, if you put the offensive line of if we get 6 300 pounders on my offensive line, and we put 6 300-pound women on their offensive line, that male offensive line is still going to blow them off that line.
So let me ask you this question, because I will say this. So the conversation never has been about interject sports or whatever. Because I think in an Olympic type status, in order for the mile to be broke under 10 minutes, it took someone thinking they could do it and they achieved it. So if you had the mindset of, okay, let's make this an even playing field, and it's known that, okay, men are winning, but then you as a female have a goal to work towards. I think evolution eventually can either produce that, or it might be a shocker. A woman might beat the number one man in the world. Who knows? It may happen. But I guess the open-mindedness for it to actually happen. As of right now, though, I think it's a little too soon for that. That's all.
So there's a couple things said that are wrong here, right? There's no science that has been proven that men are stronger than women. There's no science that makes that true. That is a society belief. That is a cultural belief. There's no science.
No,
let me just tell you what I know.
Look at
Let me tell you what I know. I'm not guessing. Let me just tell y'all what I know.
Hold on, let her finish.
I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling you what I know in terms of data, in terms of science. Now, in terms of what you may see in your lifetime, and as women compared to men or whatever, may lead you to say that men are like the average man is stronger. You're not saying every man is stronger than every woman. You're just saying like that's what I hear people say, right? The average man is stronger than the average woman. And I think it really depends on what you're talking about. We're not talking about the average man, the average woman. We're talking about trained people, right? And so look, if to me, what we're talking about stronger, we're spending a lot of time talking about stronger. What we're not talking about is how unfair this is to women today and yesteryear, that they have continuously had to prove they were women, but now men who become women don't have to prove that. Why are we spending time talking about stronger when we're not talking about the fact that men are still getting a privilege no matter where they go, even when they become women?
Well, I think the part that we're talking about is the fact that they're competing against each other, and I think Glenn hit the nail on the head.
But I have to prove I'm a woman first before I compete. But you don't have to.
We're past that. We're past that. They're at the line together
because it's still not happening. We're not past that.
We are not relative to this conversation. Relative to this conversation, I think we are.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good point, a valid point.
Why? Because the men say so? Because y'all privileged to say so?
No, we were talking about who was
I agree with you, Janae.
Again, the men need to decide what we're talking about. When you all go right there with your privilege. Go on and pull it out. Go on and pull out that privilege.
You have done Craig's work for today. You have gave Craig exactly what
you make Craig's nights.
Let me toast this one to you, Raina.
You make Craig.
All right.
He can check the box for the exact.
Using that privilege on here, huh? Keith Amphy do that all the time.
Did you see that pull out that privilege?
No, because I think we were talking about.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about, not what you're talking about. We don't want to talk about the fact that women aren't privileged. That's over. We're done with that conversation. Of course, because you're a man. Why would we talk about
privilege,
that?
I tell you.
That's that privilege.
Hey,
and then these are the same black men that be like, white people don't want to talk about racism. When white people say it's not race, we're supposed to just done talking about it.
Yeah, I picked the right.
Did y'all just white male me?
No, we didn't. Let's continue.
Look at Greg.
Let's continue to talk about the inequalities of women and them having to prove that they are they are women. So.
I'm just messing with y'all, but I just wanted to point out how both y'all slammed down my conversation because I just wanted to point out a little male privilege.
But let me say.
But I thought you made a very strong and valid point.
They both are coaches, and I don't know if you know from a rule standpoint, for a woman to compete in a sport, they have to prove that they're a woman. I don't know if that's something that
Olympics only.
Olympics. Okay.
History
specifically Olympics, not NCAA. The swimmer was NCAA. That's
okay. But in Olympics, they have to prove that they're a woman, and you have to prove that you're a man to compete in that certain sport. Okay,
yeah, that's like the young lady from South Africa that ran the 800 in track.
That's correct.
Where she had both.
She was hermaphrodite.
Which is the term is now intersex, by the way.
Oh, it's intersex. See that? You know what? These labels, man, they create. It's like, come on. I just don't. I guess to respect everybody, you got to learn all the labels. It's no disrespect if I don't know every label out there for everything. It's like I seen a clip where somebody said they are pansexual, and Wendy Brown said cis. I don't know what that is. I need to Google it to understand it. I don't mean to disrespect anybody. If you are, just be you. Like Wendy Brown said that. Just be you. We don't need all these damn labels. Be who you want. Walk down the street and be yourself all day. I don't care if you got a beard.
Craig, if they want label, people should have the right to have a label if they want to have a label, Craig.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know the labels does not determine whether or not they don't get their labels.
There you go.
Hey, Black, but look, Black, I got my daughter she sent a thing. I actually put it in our group meet with the fellas. So she sent her, her job description where they showed, their website picture and, the name and title and all of that good stuff. And beside her name, they had her name and they had she/her. And so, when she sent it to me, I was like, but damn, baby, why they feel the need to put she/her on there? And she started laughing and was like telling me I'm old. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm old? She was like, Daddy, some people don't want to be, some people are consider themselves they or them. And they want to be categorized a certain kind of way. And I'm like, I didn't know, like you're saying right now that you don't care what, I was like, well, why do they have, they laughed at me like I wasn't supposed to be asking. I'm like, okay,
but why?
You can clearly look at your picture and see that you're a female.
And I got a response from Zaneta Fox in our chat. She says equality doesn't equate strength. Men and women will never be equal. It doesn't mean one is better than the other. It just means that we are different biologically. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you, Zaneta. All right. You can jump in on the chat through our YouTube and our Facebook and our Twitter. You can jump in the chat and throw some questions out there to us. All right. Well, ladies.
Thank you.
We threw that audible in there. Glenn had a great audible. Appreciate that, Glenn. All right. Let me go. Already thanked you, Rena Doyle. Jax. Let me go to Wendy Brown. Wendy Brown, I appreciate you jumping in here with us. I don't know, man. Me and Wendy's relationship goes back to them days when radio was beginning to be bullshit, but it was still cool.
Hey, when you tell the truth, you know you was carrying them.
Yeah. No, radio was definitely on a transition. It was on life support. It was definitely on life support. Radio didn't take the avenue of going online. It should have been jumping on the XM and all that good stuff. But whatever it is, it is. Now everybody got their own show, so that's how it is. I'm glad to be a part of Wildcats. All y'all are some nice, cool dudes. Next time I come in town, Craig, let's all hang out.
Yep. I got you, Wendy Brown. So Randy Jackson, Wendy Brown, I appreciate y'all. I will be calling on y'all again. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Good to see you guys.
All right, ladies.
Hold on. Did you want them
to
stay on, Craig? Craig, did you want them to stay on while we close the show out and then we can have our real conversations?
Well, ladies, if y'all got time, y'all hang out in the waiting room, okay? And then we'll talk real, because and then Anthony and Keith won't use their privilege anymore. Huh? Y'all
I get in there.
Thank y'all, ladies. I appreciate y'all. All right, so Wildcats Podcast coming to you live from some Wildcat Studios, fellas. We're going to switch gears real hard and get into some sports real quick and go right to the NBA and talk playoffs off the top. Series, Heat versus the Hawks. The Heat are up 2-1 right now. Do the Hawks have a chance in this series? No.
I mean, there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Yeah, they got the one game yesterday, but I think the Heat are the top seed for a reason. I don't think it's going to last too long. They seem to be throwing a bunch of different bodies at Trae Young, and he looked tired.
All right, okay. Let's go to the Bucks and the Bulls. Do the Bulls have a chance in this series? We're going to speak.
Well, now that Chris Middleton is probably done for the series, they do got a chance. That even though they kind of pulled out the win yesterday or last night, they
ain't pull it out. That was bad.
They blew them out.
Yeah. They're gonna have to come with that. They're gonna have to come with that same energy every game because Chris Middleton is a big part of what they do and stuff. So,
all right. let's go to the Suns and the Pelicans. Suns are up 2-1 in this series. Pelicans got a chance.
Similar situation
same
with
with
Phoenix,
Booker being out.
with Devin Booker being out. Yeah.
Hamstring.
All right, let's go to the Mavs and the Jazz. The Mavs are actually up. Well, it's tied right now.
Tied now.
The
It's
Jazz
tied,
just won the
2-2.
game. Yep, it's tied 2 apiece right now.
Yeah, but Luka back, so I think that's gonna make a difference for Dallas.
But the dude,
I
who was the
don't know.
dude that was-
Luka, they just lost tonight. They just lost tonight with Luka back.
It was his first one back.
Who was the dude that filled in for Luka? What was his name? He was scoring. He did his thing.
Jalen
right?
Brunson.
Brunson.
Jalen
Brunson.
He was player of the year when he came out of Villanova, so that's not a surprise. Slim can boogie.
Yeah, he can boogie. All right, let's go to the Celtics and the Nets. The Knicks done. Is it a wrap? It seems like KD hasn't showed up. He's been off. I won't say he hasn't showed up.
No. They've locked his ass down. He ain't been off. He's been locked up.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody strap up on him like that. He's been locked up. He ain't been off. He's been locked up. It's a difference. When your shit not falling and you getting bodied up and you getting chased all over the place and they being physical with his ass and he can't look at the rim. He's not getting the easy shots that he normally get. The help defense
Well, you know,
is
they look
there,
like
3-4 bodies. Go ahead, Ant.
It looks like the Nets are rolling the ball out and then just doing ISO ball. And the Celtics schemes defensively are just so fucking tight right now. It's just like they already know where they're going. They already know where Kyrie's going before he goes. They held Kyrie to 10 points last game and stuff. So it's right now. I think honestly, I just think it's just boiling down to coaching right now. I think Steve Nash is just getting out coached. That roll the ball out, regardless if you got the best players in the league on your team and stuff. That roll the ball out, it's just not going to work. At least not for them.
I think KD needs to get the ball a little close to the basket a little bit, play with his back to the basket a little bit, and then pull it out, get rhythm, get, you know what I'm saying?
They down 6 right now.
They down 6?
Yeah, they down 6 right now.
But the series is over. I wanted to win. I wanted Kyrie to do his thing, man. I was fuck the league, fuck Boston, but hey, it's not gonna happen.
All right, let's keep it moving. Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. The Grizzlies are up 2-1 right now. Patrick Beverly talking big shit. He makes it interesting. You know what's great?
He's gonna do that all the time.
It's great to see John Moran's father and Anthony Townsend,
his father. Yeah,
father's at the game talking and just all about the game and not on some rowdy stuff, but they just there enjoying each other's play. It's a good look. It's a real good positive father look for the NBA right now for black fathers, man.
So it's not good that Katie mom out there. You just want to kind of keep it on the day.
Oh God. He just did a Raina Doyle.
Just the inequality that you showing, Craig. That is just so sexist of you.
That narcissistic privilege. That narcissistic privilege of Craig.
All right, and the last one we're gonna touch on is the Warriors and the Nuggets, man. Warriors are up 3-0 right now.
They looking good, man.
Man, they shoot.
They looking good.
That dude Poole is a monster. Boy.
Yes,
he's a monster. He looked like it's like Steph can keep coming off the bench. If I, it don't really
exactly.
It's crazy right now. But
no, but I think when you go into a situation where you go into a culture that is teaching you how to do certain stuff, how to practice, how to prepare, and how to approach games, it's going to wear off. And if you go by those rules and you fall in line to those rules, it's going to look like that. I mean, Slim wasn't no slouch to get there, coming from out of Michigan, but when you're around those kind of dudes that have won it and been, at the top of the league, and now you come in and you kind of fall in line and you're doing things the way that they do it, I'm not surprised by what
the blueprint.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that happening.
Right,
yeah, so, but it's 2 points. Well, it's 2 points real quick. One, I think Golden State is playing at a high defensive level right now. Like right now, I think that's it. And what's making this all go as well as Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson is playing, Draymond is the glue to make all that shit together, man. Yeah. So
did you hear him
on clip right now, man?
You hear his interview the other night talking about Jokic? Talking about everybody not built for the playoffs.
What?
Yeah.
What you talking about? You talking about let
You
me
hear
see
Steve
if
Barkley? I mean, yeah.
let me see if I can find something. Keith brought that up. I don't know if I got that one though.
It was
Do I got
Draymond Green. Draymond Green.
Draymond Green. I don't think I got that one, Keith. I thought I had that one.
I didn't send. You had the Barkley one, but not that one.
Yeah, I had the Barkley joint, but not that one. But for entertainment purposes, Charles Barkley.
Guys banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker, only Nugget in double figures. 69-59. Golden State shooting 67.
Hey, look. Hey, Craig. The youngest got this thing that they say now called pause. They should have put a whole pause button up that John.
Man. When they banging you, shit.
But look, when he said, look, no, but he was like, oh, come on. Craig, I just sent you the Draymond Green clip.
We ain't got time for it, but we gotta go. Draymond Green clip. We'll play it next week, man. I appreciate y'all checking out the show. I gotta get a real quick rest in peace, rest in power to my man Orlando Watson out of St. Louis, Missouri. Rock House Entertainment, great guy. Always helped me with my community Catz for Kids, man. Lost him to cancer. Cancer sucks. Fuck cancer. Also to my man Rob West. He actually passed via diabetes. Diabetes sucks. He was executive director for the O'Fallon Park Recreation YMCA out in St. Louis, Missouri, too. And two great dudes that lost in St. Louis, Missouri, that are about the community, that were about the people. And man, just it's sad to lose them. And also, right out the DMV, a member of Glenn's extended family, my girl Yo, she passed from diabetes. What's her real name?
Betty Hawk.
Betty. Okay, well I know it's Yo. Yo.
She had passed from diabetes, but
okay, well she passed.
Okay.
Yes. But she passed, and just rest in power, rest in peace to those people. We always show love to Black businesses. Shout out to Ezra Technologies, Anthony, that specialize in
facility management, IT services, and construction management.
All right. Also, shout out to PJ's Coffee out there in Bowie, Maryland. Fairwood Shopping Center. Is it Mike Harris and his wife? Yep. Shout out to them. And also shout out to Henderson Motors down at Queenstown, Maryland. Been around since I can remember. Henderson Motors, Black-owned businesses, and Community Catz for Kids coming. 21 years in St. Louis, Missouri. August the 13th and 14th. We'll be in Belleville, Illinois on the 13th. We'll be in St. Louis City at the O'Fallon Park YMCA, and we'll be at the Larimore Elementary School in Spanish Lake. Shout out to the DeJuan Dillon Colon Cancer Foundation, my girl Buffy. If you want to volunteer, go to the Craig Shields Foundation.org. And we'll also be in DC for our 5th year, 5 years in the DMV. Shout out to WPGC. We'll be at the Providence St. Baptist Church in Upper Marlboro, and we'll be in Southeast Washington, D.C. at the Ark. So shout out to them. And we out here, fellas. Any last words?
I think Andy said enough.
Andy said it.
And shout out to the dudes with the privilege. All right, we out of here. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate y'all. Next show, Keith, is when?
Whenever you say it is, man. I'm in basketball season right now. I don't know, man. I can't tell you tomorrow.
Thanks for checking us out, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. We out of here.
I said, now if you don't get the hell out of here.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Some Wild Cats. We'll see you next time.